Well, the world's opened up again and I'm spending money on comics. Let's check it out. Over the last couple of weeks, I've had a few great opportunities to get out and do some comic shopping in both Kansas City and St. Louis. And on top of that, I actually was able to pick up a cool Silver Age collection of X-Men books here in Columbia. So I thought, what better opportunity than to just sit down and share with everyone a couple of the things that I've picked up recently. Some of these books are going to be for the Como inventory. Some of them are going into my personal collection. I haven't exactly decided which all of them are going to be just yet, but I'll eventually get that worked out. But for now, I'm going to start off with the first books I picked up just a few weeks ago when I went shopping in Kansas City, Missouri. Hit up a couple of my favorite shops around the area, found a couple of good deals. So now let's dive into that. First up, I found a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 545. This is from the One More Day story arc. This is the Mephisto variant. It's a very cool book. You know, it's not a super valuable book, but with all the hype around Mephisto right now, I figured this would be a book that people would be interested in. So this one for sure is going in the Como inventory. So if this is a book you're looking for, come see me at my next show. Maybe I can get you that copy. Next up, I picked up a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 565. This book is heating up a little bit right now. It's the first appearance of Anna Kravinoff. With all the hype around Kraven, it only makes sense that all of the Kraven family is getting a little bit of attention. So this book is definitely up. And I'm continually impressed by the number of issues that are popping off from this early Brand New Day run. So if you've got these sitting in a box somewhere and you don't really care about them much, you might dig these out and take a look at them, because a lot of these issues are starting to get some relative value to them. This is a variant of Amazing Spider-Man number 4. I don't even remember what volume it is, but it is a cool Gwen Stacy variant that I didn't have. My local comic shop missed this one, so happy to add this to my Spidey collection. I try and pick up every variant I can at my LCS, so that one's going in the PC. Next up, Avengers 73. This late Silver Age book is just one more box checked on my Silver Age Marvel run. I picked up quite a few issues of Avengers. I went into a store that had just picked up a late Silver Age collection, and it had several of the next issues you're going to see. So Avengers 73, that's going to be a PC book. Next up, Avengers 74, just another great filler issue for that run of mine. These books are all pretty nice. They were priced really, really reasonably, so I was happy to fill in a pretty good gap in my Avengers run. Next book is number 77, just another classic Avengers. Avengers 79, Avengers 84. The colors on this book are just insane. So as you can see, we're getting close to 100, so I'm kind of running out of room here in the run, but I also managed to pick up issue 86 to help fill in that run. And the last issue of Avengers that I picked up in Kansas City is issue 88. I actually have 89 through 98 already in the collection, so getting really close to wrapping that run up. Also in Kansas City, I managed to track down a copy of Champions 14. This is the first appearance of Swarm. Swarm is typically, as I know him, a Spider-Man villain, just one of those really oddball villains from back in the day that, you know, doesn't get a lot of love, but I kind of have a soft spot in him. I remember the Fleer Ultra Spider-Man card that featured Swarm, and ever since I've had that card as a kid growing up, I've always kind of dug this villain. So when I found a decent and reasonably priced copy of his first appearance, I figured why not pick another one up. Now, we also found some Daredevil. The same collection that the Avengers came out of also had a solid Daredevil run. Daredevil, I've got quite a few of already, but I was able to fill several more holes in my run. This is issue 63. Also picked up issue 64 of Daredevil. And again, the condition on these books is really even better than the Avengers run from that same collection. This is number 66. And the thing with Daredevil, there's not really a lot of note that goes on for most of the Silver Age. Daredevil 72 is next. So there's not really anything as far as like keys, especially this late in the run. Up now is issue 73. And a really nice issue 75. So other than just checking boxes in my collection of issues I need, nothing really too significant to talk about with these issues. Issue 78 is the next one up. And then the last Silver Age Daredevil, we got issue 79. Again, these books all have just really great colors, really solid condition-wise. And I think I was paying $7 or $8 a piece for them, so the price was definitely right. Additionally, I picked up this copy of Daredevil 115. This is from the Ed Brubaker run, the Ladies Bullseye arc, which is an issue I didn't have. I really liked what I do have of that arc, so I was excited to fill that out a little bit more as well. The next two books are actually the same. I found 2 copies of Ghost Rider 31. Both of them actually are open, but they came with the posters. So the posters are in there. One of them had a nasty tape pull that I didn't see, but I think I got these for about $1.50 a piece. So this book is on a lot of people's spec list right now, with the Spirits of Vengeance coming up, potentially. So regardless, I was happy to pick those up at the price I found them at. Next deal of the day was Secret Avengers number 19. This is the first time you see Moon Knight in like a white suit costume. So it's also a book that's picked up a little bit of interest in the market lately. Paid a couple bucks for this out of a discount bin. It's running for about 20 right now. So I thought that was a good score. Was happy to pick that one up. The big book I picked up in Kansas City a couple weeks back was this still sealed in the bag copy of Static number 1. This is actually the first time I've ever owned a copy of this book, but I found it at my favorite Kansas City LCS, and I got a really good deal on it. So I knew that I had to bring this one home when I found it, and this book will be in the Como inventory. So I'll be happy to get that into the hands of a collector here before too long, hopefully. And the last book I picked up while in Kansas City a few weeks back, picked up this copy of Thunderbolt 110. This is just an issue I didn't have. It's right when we get that new team, if I remember right, of Bullseye and Venom and just some of the more well-known members of the Thunderbolts from recent years. So that one is going in the PC. Again, it's not really a crazy book, but I figured what the heck, for the price it wasn't bad. So those were all pickups from Kansas City. Went to Kansas City about 3 weeks back. Last weekend I headed out to St. Louis, picked up a little bit better stuff, in my opinion, last weekend. So the first thing, the big book of the day, picked up this copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 11. This is the second appearance of Dr. Octopus, just a classic Spider-Man tale with ASM 3. The value on that book is just getting out of hand. Most collectors don't have the ability to pick up that book. Every copy of Amazing Spider-Man 3 I've seen for the last year and a half, regardless of condition, has been at least $1,000, whereas a copy of this book in this grade is only going to be in the $500 or $600 range. So this is an affordable option for collectors who really want to get in on an early Doc Ock book, but don't quite have the ability to swing a Spider-Man 3. So happy to add this one to the Como inventory. Next up, this book is also going into the Como inventory. Have a copy of Journey into Mystery 92. This is an early Loki appearance. I think it's like the 4th appearance of Loki or something like that. Just a great Jack Kirby Loki cover. The price was right on it, and honestly, Journey into Mystery is a title I don't have a ton of books in the inventory of right now, so I decided to go ahead and snatch this one up. Figured with the Loki TV show coming out, and just the fact that it's an early appearance, that some collector out there would appreciate that. Next up, I've got Strange Tales 179. This is the first appearance of Pip the Troll. This is a really nice book. There's a lot of speculation that Pip may show up in the Eternals, so I decided why not grab this and roll the dice on it. Nothing else, it's nice enough of a copy that somebody's gonna definitely pick this up and add it to their collection just to complete that Warlock run. Last book I picked up last weekend for the inventory, I found this pretty solid mid-grade copy of Sergeant Fury number 8, which is the first original Baron Zemo, a long shot spec, that maybe people are just into Zemo now and they want to go back and get the original Zemo's first appearance. So it was a nice copy, the price was right, so I thought I would add this one to the inventory as well. Next up, I picked up some books for my PC while I was in St. Louis as well. So first up is Fantastic Four number 24. This is one of the last issues I need to complete Fantastic Four 1 through I think it's 103. So with that book and this book, which is Fantastic Four 73, I am down to a single issue remaining to complete that run. So I am on the hunt for a copy of Fantastic Four number 72, I believe it is, to finish out that run. Next up, I've got Journey into Mystery 107. This is the first appearance of the Grey Gargoyle. Again, one of the few issues of Journey into Mystery I don't have in the collection, so picked it up, checked another box in that run, and then I also picked up JIM 115. It's another Loki appearance, some random issue that I'd yet to add to the collection. So down to just a few Journey into Mysteries left that I need to track down. Unfortunately, 83 is one of those that I have not yet added to the collection, so that one's gonna hurt. The next book, picked up a copy of X-Men 41. This is a pretty decent copy. As luck would have it, this wasn't the only copy of this book I would buy last weekend. But with this, I'm down to just under a handful of Silver Age X-Men that I need to grab as well. So nothing too crazy in that issue, just what I'd consider a run filler. And I guess I did buy one more book for the Como inventory. I picked up this copy of Moon Knight number 25 at a toy shop in St. Louis. Found a good price on it. Needed a little TLC, so it came home and went into the press and got cleaned up a little bit. So that one will be on the wall, and that's actually one of the more spec-worthy books out of that Moon Knight Volume 1 series. So I was very happy to track it down. And it turns out that going to St. Louis to buy comics last weekend wasn't enough. While I was in St. Louis, I was contacted by a local collector who's actually a viewer of the channel, so thank you for watching. They have a collection and they're wanting to start selling pieces of it off. So we started off with what he thought was one of the better portions of the collection, and that was his Silver Age X-Men books. So got a pile of Silver Age X-Men that I picked up here in town last weekend. First issue X-Men 17. This is the last Jack Kirby cover and art for X-Men. I've always liked this red cover. Some people don't care for it. They think it's kind of plain. I thought it was kind of cool. But again, all things X-Men are just insane right now. So even though you'll notice as I go through these, there aren't really anything that I'd consider a key issue. Just run filler from early X-Men is not something I come across a whole lot around here. As much as people love the X-Men, for whatever reason, finding Silver Age X-Men in Columbia has been a bit of a challenge for me over the years. So I was very happy to get the call and to see what this seller had. Next up is a copy of X-Men 21. This one presents really well, so I was happy to have it. Next up is X-Men 23, nothing too crazy. X-Men 24 is our next book. This is one of the lower grade books that was in the collection. It was just well read. It's a great book. It's a good read. So I understand that. Next is X-Men 25, followed by X-Men 26. X-Men 27 is the next book. It's the Return of the Mimic. And this book is really, really sharp. Page quality on some of these books is just insane. I was incredibly surprised at just how crystal clear white some of these pages were as I was flipping through them. And that's one of the nicer books that was in the collection. X-Men 29 is up next. I tell you, if this book ever hits, I'm going to retire early because I think I've got 3 or 4 copies of it now. And for Silver Age X-Men, that's kind of an unusual thing for me. I don't tend to have that kind of depth on most of these issues. X-Men 31 is the next book in the X-Men collection. X-Men 33 is up next. This is one of the nicer books from this collection as well. This book is super tight, great page quality, just a pretty solid book all around. Great early Juggernaut appearance, so that's just a win-win-win in my book. X-Men 34 is in there as well. X-Men 36, like I said, not a ton of keys really in this run at all, and as luck would have it, this collection skipped around the few that there are, but keys are getting expensive. These run filler issues are still accessible for a lot of people, and that's the kind of stuff I like to make sure I have in my inventory. Next book is X-Men 38, followed by X-Men 39. This is a book I've picked up a couple of nice copies of recently. The first really nice one I found, I put into my PC and just flipped out my previous PC copy into the inventory. But this copy is nearly as nice as that one. Again, it's a Frankenstein appearance, but just a super, super collectible copy of the book. No doubt somebody's going to take that home and be very happy with it. Mentioned it earlier. Here's my second copy of X-Men 41 that I bought last weekend. As it turns out, this copy's nicer than the one I bought for my personal collection. So I'm probably going to do a little swap out and put that one in my PC, while the one I bought for my personal collection will go in the Como inventory. Next up is a copy of X-Men 43. And this thing, it does have some condition issues. It's got a little bit of a crease through here. The pages are just white. Absolutely beautiful pages on this book. I couldn't believe it. And the other X-Men book from this collection I will be putting in my PC is X-Men number 45. So I think I'm down to about 3 issues of X-Men that I need to complete that original first run. X-Men 47 is next. Unfortunately, somebody traced in the word beast there. They just ran some marker through the graphic, but still a very collectible book. It's in really nice condition, super tight. So somebody will pick it up, I hope. X-Men 52 is next. Just another clean copy. The closest thing to a key that was in this collection is X-Men 54. Unfortunately, it is hands down the lowest grade book in the whole collection, as it's got some pretty bad water damage to it. Rippling, it might be growing some stuff. Not 100% sure on that, but it presents really well for its actual grade. So despite the fact that it's, you know, pretty roughed up from the water, I'm sure there's a collector out there that would like to have it as a placeholder, if nothing else. X-Men 55 is our next book, followed by X-Men 61, the second appearance of Sauron, and then finally the last book in the Silver Age X-Men run I picked up is X-Men number 63. So it's been a pretty crazy couple of weeks. I've been, as you can see, getting out there, spending some money. Thankfully, conventions are coming back, so I'm really looking forward to getting back out on the road and setting up and selling some of the crazy stuff I've accumulated since the pandemic. I bought two of the best collections I've ever bought right before the shutdown back in 2020, and nobody's really shopped them. I had a couple of small shows in St. Louis, but my next show is Planet Comic Con in Kansas City. It's my big show of the year every year, and the Kansas City market has not seen these books. I haven't sold many of these books, so I'm really excited to see how my customers react to just some of the crazy stuff that I've brought home over the last year. So if you're in the area, be sure to check out Planet Comic Con. It's in August of this year. Otherwise, if you are interested in any of these books, be sure to check our calendar on our Facebook page. We always post what shows we'll be at. Most of those are in the Midwest area. So if you're not local, might be a little bit of a challenge for you to get to some of those. And you never know, eventually maybe some of these books will find their way to the website. That's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but we'll just have to see. So I hope you're all able to get out there and do some comic hunting. Conventions are coming back. There's still a ton of great books out in the local comic shops. So let's get out there and dive back into those long boxes. Collect responsibly, and I'll see you in the next one.